2:20 in the morning. I drank caffeine way too late, so I accidentally punished myself and I couldn't fall asleep. My body's hit or miss with caffeine. If I'm gonna stay up or be able to fall asleep. And since I was super busy today, I didn't exercise. When I don't exercise enough or have caffeine, I lay in bed. And the only way to go to sleep is to exercise. Or I sit there with a notebook and write business ideas all night. So I'm running now. And I don't even know if this is good enough. I gotta check and make sure. Okay. So it's about 30 degrees. Light, rain, snow, I don't know. It seemed like it was snowing a second ago, but maybe it's just raining. And kind of made a big change the last couple of weeks. That was unexpected. I've been with these two guys in my office, or our office, not my office, but our office. The past year have been a huge impact in my life. And, you know, I've realized that surrounding yourself with absolute savage entrepreneurs and people that push their limits in different avenues outside business, they just work super hard and it's inspiring. And, you know, like Dylan, for example, he just signed up for 7 different hockey leagues so he can play hockey 7 days a week. And that's his enjoyment. To me, that sounds awful. It sounds like the worst job. I don't like hockey. I like to run, ride motorcycles, bike, go to the gym, whatever thing. Zach has taken on this incredible, I'd say, 180 from when I met him and spent the last year with him. And it's incredible to watch because I know he's going to run an exceptional marathon time in Austin. The way he's been going hard, he's dedicated. And we've been working together for the last year and helping each other and in different avenues of life that I don't even think we realize. And with what I've noticed, Dylan can just absolutely fucking workhorse, like 15-hour days, 10-hour days, and he's not afraid to fucking lock himself in the office and work. I'm really admirable. It's super admirable. And Zach, on the other hand, he's an unbelievable rider. He has so many talents. And I've never seen someone who really does like eat, breathe, sleep obsession, potentially at the cost of other things, which is okay. We'll figure it out. I keep telling him to focus on cash flow for anything else so that he doesn't have to worry about certain things. And I agree with everyone who should focus on cash flow first, while at the same time, like, cover your life. And then
distance 1 mile, time 7 minutes 31 seconds.
7:31, nice. First mile at 2:20 in the morning. But yeah, Zach he's on a good mission, and I want to see him win. Where I'm going with this is, we decided to all get our own office spaces, and for me, you know, I've realized I'm at a certain point in my life and business that the most important thing is to minimize distractions and be able to have my own space. And, you know, we were kind of all on our own business path in the office and different routines and schedules. And we could annoy each other sometimes with phone calls. And, you know, the only way it would have worked with us three in a space is to have rules. And I fucking hate rules. I don't like rules at all. Neither does Dylan, neither does Zach. That's why none of us work a corporate 9 to 5. We really don't like working for people. We like to figure it out. We're problem solvers. Rules suck. So we got lucky. Happened to be great timing that on the third floor, or not third floor, the fifth floor, there's 3 units opening up, and we all get our own space, but we're all still in proximity of each other. And I think that's really important, because being by yourself all day can be lonely, even if you're working. It's nice to have a real human interaction that are with people you know, versus just people on the internet or random people in New York. And I think the cool thing is Casey and Jordan and all the people we're starting to become friends with in the building more. Like, we're meeting people every day in the building that are epic dudes. 368 is a literal breeding ground for incredible talent, from artists to videographers to directors to filmmakers to YouTubers. It is absolutely incredible. And you know, it's like a common trend you kind of see in our building is just artists alone working their ass off on their mission, but everyone still communicates. And for me, I think that's really important, is to be in a good position, a good place where you can still spend time with certain people. And for me, that building, I would argue, has already changed my life. You know, I was laying in bed trying to fall asleep, had this thought. I moved to New York after texting Casey asking if I could work with him or for him. And he asked, how fast can you be out here? So the type of spontaneous person I am, you know, said October 6th. And that was about a month from the time we were texting. And then I sold everything and moved to New York. And threw myself in the fire. Slept on couches, sublease, got my own lease. Didn't even get my own lease until like 7 weeks after being here. And I still kind of live in a shithole. I don't really have any window light, which is one of the reasons why I really wanted to like get out of the office once we had an opportunity, is because there was window light. So let me cross the street. It's funny. It's just like tons of people leaving bars like around, not tons, but it's really the only people that are out in New York at this hour. So got window light. But back to the Casey story. Like, I moved out here, was working with him. Didn't feel like a 9 to 5 because, you know, it's with Casey and you're learning things from every day. But I was mopping floors, taking out trash. Honestly, I was unpacking his whole office in the studio and helping him organize it for like $30 an hour, which is what I made at the NFL in 2019. And I remember, like, in the back of my mind, my ego kind of kicked in. I was like, why the fuck am I doing this? Why am I working here? And I remember that when I was at the NFL, my ego kicked in like a month or two in. I was like, why the fuck am I at this corporate job and making $29 an hour? And I'm like, you know what? I'm here for a reason. I have a 10-month contract and I'm gonna work my ass off to the best of my ability, make the best videos I possibly can, because it's gonna impact my life in future. So I did that, and it was a good 10 months. And you know, like, the best thing about that is the department and group I worked with, we won a sports Emmy. And like, I'm in the Emmy database and got this sick Emmy, and you know, I joke around and say it was the greatest participation trophy I ever got. And it truly is. So back to Casey. Move out here, start working with Casey. The second I get off the plane, I'm working with him. Hold up, I'm gonna try and change this really quick. Okay, I had action mode on. So I moved to New York, work with Casey. I'm working with him. The second I get off the plane, literally didn't sleep, red eye. Go to my buddy's house, drop all my stuff, meet Casey, make a New York City video. Remember that video got like 3 or 4 or 5 million views. I remember it was up there. I was like, wow, this is insane. Like, we shot it in 2 days. ran around the city. Literally, like, working with Casey, you're running. You're on a city bike. I remember he's like, catch up. Fucking I'm moving. Like, catch up. Like, I like people like that. Like, high urgency. It's fucking don't hold them back. And I like that. Some of the smartest and most insane people I've ever worked with are like that. They just, you join their mission and don't get in the way of their mission. And that's just how life is. Like, you either adapt or move on. And for me, I really liked working with Casey, but at the same time, like, I'm a builder. I want to build my own thing. I want to work. I want to make my own money. And I came to New York to build shit, work my ass off, and honestly, like, see how far I can take myself building shit. So, like, while I was working with Casey, started working on some other things, building some other things. And, you know, the animation company just started to work. Like, massive results, huge virality. Like, fuck, dude, some of the clients that I've worked with in the past year are like people I was consuming their content before for years prior. You know, like Ryan Holiday, Daily Stoic, making him 5 videos. You know, Dan Coe, I had seen him on Twitter and been friends with him on Twitter a bit, to like blowing him up on Instagram. Then like all the new people that came in, and you know, the network starts to grow like by hundreds or maybe thousands. You know, like Twitter has been one of the most important platforms for me. It's connected me literally to billionaires that follow me, that own massive funds, and it's basically like a better LinkedIn, I think, for me at least. But going back to it, it's like I just dove into this year. Like I dove in to last year, and like I was contemplating how, you know, January. I remember January, like, working out in my apartment and just staying up all night, trying to figure out the business and hiring and like sales. You know, I took probably like
distance 2 miles, time 15 minutes 36 seconds, previous mile in 8 minutes 4 seconds.
You know, I probably took 400 or 500 calls. I don't know, 600. And you learn a lot talking to people. You hear a lot of cool ideas. We're still recording. And for me, you know, it was just a huge learning year because I fucked up so many times. And, you know, there was months I made really good money, should have hired people, and, you know, just kind of didn't. And there's like waves of momentum, and you have to ride the waves of momentum. And I'm in one of those momentum waves again right now, where I'm pivoting. I've made some hires, some people behind the scenes, paid for consulting and coaching and strategy, and I can see where the next level is. I'm like in between. And what I like about that is you can really just level up whenever you're ready. It just requires a lot of focus, hard work. And honestly, at the core of it, it requires a ton of sacrifice. And it's mostly sacrificing things you don't want to sacrifice, but you have to. You know? Well, maybe you do want to sacrifice it, but for me, I'm motivated by building a business that cash flows hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Well, I'm the director, owner, creative director, founder, and being able to essentially do what I wish with any company and work on any company's projects that reaches out that I want to, not that I have to. To get there, I know it requires a lot of sacrifice, because to be in a place of leverage, you have to be in a place of greatness where you have so much demand and opportunity. You get to decide who and what makes sense, and that requires a lot of hard work. And I know a lot of people in the media world who have made it, and these people are still working their asses off to honestly like perform at an extremely high level, and to do that requires sacrifice and focus and battling with yourself when you don't want to do things. Like, I don't really want to run right now. I wish I was sleeping, but I couldn't sleep. And I have so much shit to do tomorrow. We're moving offices into the new space, and I have a lot of meetings tomorrow. I'm working with my team. The team now, like, I've gotten to 8 full-time people plus myself, so it's a 9-person team. And you know, a 9-person team is a lot harder to manage than yourself. People are relying on me. People are relying on me to eat, to pay their rent. And that pressure starts to weigh on you when you're thinking of doing things that don't matter. And for me, I'm really in this elimination phase of remove as much shit that doesn't matter, as many clients that do matter. I have many clients that do matter that I need to focus on to get to the next level, especially if I want to bring in and hire an extremely top level strategist in New York and biz development team and build out the proper systems to scale Weiss to a huge agency that works in many verticals. And I'm seeing where the market's going, seeing where money's going to, seeing how certain products are selling, digital, physical, SaaS. And for me, I believe it's an incredible opportunity because I started making videos when I was 8. So I was like on the early adopter range for social media, you know, just working on YouTube, like making things, like just making. I didn't care what it was, as long as I sat down and made videos. And I love it. Like it's all done. I really feel like I've known, but I've worked in so many different verticals and with so many different people. I've gained pretty much now like 20 years of knowledge and wisdom in this game and space, and I'm becoming a forward thinker in a way where I spend a lot of time analyzing things on social media and in the media landscape of where are things going, where can things go, why will they go there, and how can I pivot and not get shiny object syndrome, but build towards the direction of where I believe things are going. And, you know, it's always been a common trend, but we are going way further back to quality and quantity combined. Who can make the most amount of quantity at the highest quality is going to win, because we're in a content overload world where things matter way more to the viewer than they used to, because we're seeing so much. Hold up, Dodge truck. Okay, so there's so many different verticals and styles blowing up that I actually don't think many people should be copying. I think they should be actually stealing, pivoting, finding something they like, adding their own twist, building off of things they've seen that work, and trying to originate, because creativity is really limitless, and we're gonna see continuously new limits being broken, which, you know, from a production standpoint, company standpoint, brand, celebrity, whatever, people want to see new things. They want to see new things push the limits. And they want to be the ones involved with that if it works, because money is following attention. A lot of money is following attention. And, you know, a good example is influencers. You know, that was not a thing years ago. And now there's, I think, like, I'm way off, I don't want to throw a number, but either 50 billion or 500 billion being thrown at influencers and make it too late. You want to know why that works? Is because people trust people that they followed for years. Trust is built, credibility. People don't trust brands as much anymore. A lot of deceptive lies. Versus the influencer who for years has been authentic, sharing and trying to connect with an audience, and now maybe is using or testing a product. I thought that guy was talking to me. So there's still going to be forever, not even forever, but billions of dollars will go to people that can influence the minds of others to sell them things. if you study everything in a capitalistic society, it all comes down to revenue and sales and getting people to take an action.
Distance, 3 miles. Time, 23 minutes, 42 seconds. Previous mile in, 8 minutes, 6 seconds.
So, I don't really have much else, you know. I kind of want to finish this run and enjoy it. I talked about a lot of different things, but for the most part, I mean, this is just me talking to a camera. I don't know who it helps, but if I could give one piece of advice from last year, I kind of hate advice, is figure out what you're really bad at and what you're really good at. And then try and find and hire someone to outsource some of the things you're bad with, so you can focus on the highest level, biggest needle movers. You know, I realized my ability to network and talk to anyone and get myself in any room has taken me very far. And I guess that's like part of my sales business brain that I got from my dad. And my creative brain and creative side that I got from my mom is what propels me to go further and higher and create new things and build new things. And, you know, those two things, like, I feel really creative and really good at sales, but I'm really bad at operations and systems. Like, I don't want to deal with any of that shit. I just want to make and sell, deliver good results, make things for fun, see people like I work with crush it. Like, I get such a high off seeing things that the company makes that absolutely crush. And, you know, you really have to figure out where you're super strong, where you're super weak. And, you know, some people might say, lean into weakness. For me, I'm like, dude, if I lean into weakness, I'm not going to win. I'm not going to win the areas that I know I'm good at. And, you know, I have to focus on outsourcing some weaknesses so I can scale and focus on the highest leverage. And I took on a lot of different roles this past year with the company, and I can see exactly where I fucked up so many times. And every one of those places was in trying to do things that I shouldn't be doing, that if I had paid someone or hired someone to do, I would not have to worry about. I could focus on the higher leverage moves, and the company would be in an even better place today. And that's where I'm at right now. Like, this year, I want to take the company and make it as big as I possibly can, the highest quality, some of the best clients in the world that I can get a hold of and work with, or that get a hold of me. And, you know, I really believe in foundational years. This is a foundational year for me. Last year was too. You know, last year was grading. If you're building a house, you grade the land, make it flat, lay some cement. And before you have an architect engineer some plans, and from there you start building. And last year I probably laid cement and started framing the house, or, you know, wood, building the structure a bit. And there's so many other parts that go into it. It's funny, I'm ending my run here. When I moved here, this building wasn't here. I actually watched it get built from the ground up. Very foundational, like metaphorical for what I want to build. Like, it's not done yet. They just started doing the windows and the interior. And all it was when I got here was a lot that they were grading and starting to build. And now, you know, entire cement structure, windows. They're not done yet. They haven't finished it, but there's so many steps that go into building a building. And it's the same thing with a company. And you really got to lay out those steps and be strategic. If you jump ahead a few steps, then you end up having issues. You have to step backwards and fix them. And, you know, I've really put a lot of emphasis right now on fixing a few things, systems-wise, so that things can be extremely efficient, streamlined, and smooth, so I can scale higher and bigger. Yeah, that's all I got. Back home. Peace.